In the shadowed corners of ancient wisdom, where the light of understanding flickers like a distant star, there exists a symbol, an enigma, a force so profound that it has shaped the very fabric of our reality. It is known as the Black Cube of Saturn, and its influence stretches far deeper than most could ever imagine. Have you ever wondered why the planet Saturn has been regarded with such mystery, fear, and reverence by civilizations across time? Why is this celestial body, with its ringed majesty, so tightly woven into the fabric of spiritual, astrological, and even cosmic thought? More importantly, have you ever stopped to consider why Saturn's emblem, the Black Cube, is so ubiquitous in ancient texts, esoteric practices, and even in the symbols of modern society? The Black Cube is not just an object, it is a gateway. A nexus where time, space, and consciousness converge. But why is it so crucial for every spiritual seeker to understand its true nature? What secrets does it hold, and what power does it wield over our lives and souls? In this video, we will journey through the veils of history, peeling back layers of mystery to reveal the true story behind the Black Cube of Saturn. You will uncover the spiritual significance, the historical context, and the profound wisdom hidden within this symbol. From its roots in ancient civilizations to its relevance in modern times, we will explore how the Black Cube has been a force of transformation, restriction, and liberation all at once. But be warned, this is not a journey for the faint of heart. What you will learn may challenge everything you thought you knew about reality, about the universe, and about the unseen forces shaping our lives. Now, take a deep breath. Prepare to venture into a world where the boundaries between the known and the unknown blur, because the Black Cube of Saturn is waiting to reveal its secrets, and you are about to become one of the few who truly understands its power. What is the Black Cube? Why has it been hidden, misunderstood, and revered? And most importantly, how can this ancient knowledge transform your spiritual path? Let us begin. The story of the Black Cube of Saturn begins not in the realms of modern science or astronomy but in the deep, shadowed corridors of ancient wisdom. It is a symbol that stretches across civilizations, from the Chaldeans to the Egyptians, and into the heart of the Hebrew Kabbalah. But before we dive into these ancient traditions, we must first understand one fundamental truth: the Black Cube is not just an object, it is a concept. It represents the intersection of the physical and the metaphysical, the known and the unknown. In ancient Babylon, Saturn was seen as the ruler of time, karma, and fate, a cosmic force that wielded immense power over the lives of mortals. The Babylonians believed that the planet Saturn, with its solemn, silent orbit, was not just a distant celestial body, but an active force in the human experience. This belief extended into the symbolism of the Black Cube, which represented the solid, unyielding nature of time, and the boundaries that this force imposed on the soul. The cube itself is a geometric shape that has been revered since time immemorial. Its four corners symbolize the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water, grounding the ethereal and the physical in a shape that speaks of stability and structure. But there is something deeper. The cube's perfect symmetry and its confinement within four rigid corners also embody the constraints of reality, the limitations placed upon the human soul and the ego, and perhaps even the boundaries of time and space itself. This philosophical understanding of the cube ties directly into the teachings of the Kabbalah, the mystical teachings of ancient Jewish tradition. Within the Kabbalistic tree of life, Saturn is associated with the Sephira of Bina, the sphere of understanding and structure. Bina is known as the mother archetype, giving birth to the laws that govern the universe. And here, the Black Cube plays a dual role, both a symbol of cosmic order and a reminder of the restrictions imposed by that very order. It is as if Saturn, through the cube, whispers, "To understand the universe, you must first understand its limits." In the Egyptian mysteries, Saturn was often depicted as the god of time, called Kronos in Greek mythology. He was seen not as a benevolent force, but a devouring one, time itself that consumes all things. The black cube, as a symbol tied to Saturn, was understood to represent this aspect of Saturn's nature. It is a cosmic prison, a boundary that traps souls within the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Yet, this same symbol was revered, for it also represented the key to transcendence. To escape this cosmic prison, one had to understand the cube, break free from its confines, and transcend the limitations of time and matter. Throughout history, this symbol has been shrouded in layers of secrecy, veiled from the common man by initiates and mystery schools who understood its true power. The cube has been found in sacred texts, engraved in temples, and hidden in plain sight in the architecture of some of the world's greatest civilizations. The ancient Sumerians, the Egyptians, and later the Freemasons, all used the black cube as a tool of spiritual and philosophical understanding. The cube was seen as the focal point of initiation, a test, a trial, a riddle to be solved in order to achieve enlightenment or liberation. But why, then, has this knowledge been hidden or misunderstood? The answer lies in the very nature of Saturn itself. Saturn, as a planet, has always been seen as a force that limits, a force that demands discipline and patience. In the modern world, where instant gratification and freedom are often sought above all else, the black cube and its deeper meaning are less appealing. Saturn's lessons are often too difficult for most to endure. It is only those who are ready to face the true nature of reality, the limits of existence, the passage of time, and the constraints of the material world, who can truly understand the power of the black cube. Yet, these lessons, though often misunderstood or avoided, are the very key to spiritual liberation. For it is through accepting the limitations of existence that one can begin to break free from them. The black cube represents this paradox. It is both the prison and the key to freedom, both the boundary and the path to transcendence. The black cube, then, is not just a relic of the past. It is a symbol for our time. In a world that constantly pushes against boundaries, whether those boundaries be physical, mental, or spiritual, the cube stands as a reminder that there is power in constraint. Through discipline, structure, and understanding, we can transcend the very forces that bind us. At the heart of the black cube lies an enduring mystery, one that transcends cultures, religions, and epochs. It is not simply an object, but a key, a gateway that opens into the hidden realms of spiritual knowledge and consciousness. But what exactly does this cube represent? To understand this, we must dive deeper into its symbolic structure and the role it plays in both the cosmic and personal dimensions. Let's begin with the cube's geometric form. A cube is a solid, three-dimensional object with 6 square faces, 8 vertices, and 12 edges. It's a symbol of order, stability, and structure, yet also confinement. This duality is key to understanding the black cube of Saturn. In many esoteric teachings, geometry is more than a tool for measuring the physical world, it is the language of the universe itself. The cube, with its rigid form, represents the laws that govern existence, both the laws that provide order and those that restrict freedom. In spiritual terms, the cube often symbolizes the material world, the realm of form and limitation. The 4 corners of the cube represent the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 elements, and the material plane. Yet, the cube's very structure also symbolizes the way the soul becomes trapped within the confines of physical reality. It is a prison of sorts, where time, space, and ego bind us. The black cube is the embodiment of these constraints. However, there is more to the cube than its confining nature. In the tradition of sacred geometry, every shape carries both a visible and hidden meaning. The black cube of Saturn holds a paradoxical secret. While it traps the soul in the material realm, it also offers the potential for liberation. But how can this be? The key lies in the planet Saturn itself. In astrology and mysticism, Saturn is often called the Lord of Time, and its influence is both feared and revered. Saturn governs the cycles of time, and its energy is associated with discipline, responsibility, and limitation. But Saturn's lessons are not punitive, they are transformative. To understand the power of the Black Cube, one must first understand the nature of Saturn's energy. Saturn, as the ruler of the material world, teaches us about structure and boundaries. It teaches us how to endure, how to grow strong through challenge, how to face hardship with patience and resolve. The Black Cube, then, becomes a symbol of Saturn's teaching. To transcend the material world, we must first accept its limitations. In essence, the Black Cube is not merely a symbol of imprisonment, but of the potential for spiritual alchemy, the process of transforming the base, earthly self into something transcendent. Consider the journey of initiation in many ancient mystery schools. In these traditions, the initiate would undergo trials, symbolized often by difficult or seemingly insurmountable obstacles. The Black Cube represents these trials. They are the tests that forge the soul. Through them, one attains mastery over the self, learning to transcend the limitations of the physical body, the ego, and the material world. The cube is the obstacle that must be faced and understood in order to break free from the constraints of time, space, and karma. Yet, despite this transformative potential, the Black Cube also warns of the dangers of becoming too enmeshed in the material world. There is a balance to be struck. When the soul becomes too attached to the material world, too bound by the restrictions of time and space, it becomes trapped in the very cube that was once meant to help it evolve. The Black Cube then represents the danger of becoming lost in the cycles of limitation, of forgetting the higher purpose and divine connection that transcends earthly existence. In essence, the Black Cube is the paradox of existence itself. It represents both the prison and the key, the boundary and the liberation. To understand its full power, one must learn to navigate the complexities of the material world while simultaneously seeking liberation from it. The Black Cube offers no easy answers. It demands understanding and inner transformation. This brings us to a deeper exploration of Saturn's role in our lives. While the cube represents limitation, Saturn's energy also brings about profound transformation. It is the teacher that asks us to face our shadow, to confront the parts of ourselves that we would rather ignore. It is through this confrontation that true spiritual growth occurs. The Black Cube, in this sense, becomes a mirror, reflecting the soul's journey through the material world, showing us both our constraints and our potential for transcendence. Now that we have explored the Black Cube's basic structure and its connection to the material world, it's time to dive deeper into the more enigmatic aspects of this symbol. What lies beneath the surface of this seemingly simple object? What paradoxes does the Black Cube hold, and why has it been a central element in esoteric wisdom for millennia? The Black Cube represents not only the physical boundaries of the material world but also the metaphysical boundaries of human consciousness. Its seemingly solid form challenges us to question the very nature of reality. It is in this tension, the tension between what is seen and what is unseen, between the known and the unknown, that the true power of the Black Cube begins to reveal itself. The concept of the cube is deeply tied to the idea of duality. It holds within it the paradox of existence. That which binds us also offers the potential for freedom. In many spiritual traditions, dualities are central themes: light and dark, creation and destruction, life and death. The Black Cube of Saturn exists within this dualistic framework. It can be seen as a symbol of limitation, but it is also a symbol of potential, the potential for inner alchemy, for transformation, and for transcendence. Consider this: The cube, with its rigid angles and hard edges, embodies the laws that govern the physical universe. These laws are not inherently negative, they are simply the framework within which we experience reality. In the spiritual journey, the first step is often to confront the limitations of the material world. The black cube represents these limitations in their purest form. But rather than something to fear, these limitations can be the very catalyst for spiritual awakening. By embracing the constraints of the material world, the passage of time, the inevitability of aging, the cycles of nature, we begin to understand something profound. It is through accepting the limits of the physical that we can reach for the infinite. The cube, while representing the material, is also a gateway to the spiritual. Through the process of initiation, one must learn to transcend these boundaries, not by denying them, but by understanding and integrating them into one's being. There is a hidden, almost mystical quality to the black cube. In many ancient cultures, the cube was viewed as a sacred object, often associated with divine knowledge and cosmic order. The cube was not just a physical form but an embodiment of cosmic law, a reflection of the divine will. For instance, in the Islamic tradition, the Kaaba, the sacred cube in Mecca, is a focal point of pilgrimage and prayer. But this cube is not merely a structure, it represents the presence of the divine, the order of the cosmos, and the ultimate unity of all things. In this context, the black cube is not a prison but a symbol of divine connection, reminding us that all things, both material and spiritual, are interconnected. Yet, the black cube of Saturn also carries a more ominous side. As the symbol of time, karma, and fate, Saturn's influence can feel restrictive. It represents the inevitability of change, the cycles of birth and death, and the challenges we face on our spiritual path. Saturn's lessons are often hard and unforgiving, yet they are the very lessons that shape our character and bring us closer to enlightenment. In astrology, Saturn is often seen as the taskmaster of the zodiac, demanding discipline, responsibility, and maturity. The black cube is, in this sense, a reminder that spiritual growth is not an easy path. It requires patience, endurance, and an acceptance of the limitations of the physical world. To transcend the black cube is to embrace the challenges of existence and to rise above them, not by avoiding them, but by facing them with courage and wisdom. One of the most powerful and lesser-known aspects of the black cube is its connection to the concept of time. Time, as governed by Saturn, is both linear and cyclical. The cube is a symbol of this paradox. The rigid structure of the cube represents the linear progression of time, while the cyclical nature of Saturn's orbit suggests that time is also a repeating cycle, constantly returning to its beginning. This cyclical nature is key to understanding the black cube's role in spiritual evolution. In many mystical traditions, time is not viewed as a mere sequence of events but as a powerful force that shapes the soul. The black cube is the perfect metaphor for this. It is a structure that contains time, yet is also shaped by it. In this sense, the cube represents not only the constraints of time but also its transformative power. Just as the soul is bound by the physical body, so too is it bound by time, but through spiritual practice, one can learn to transcend the limitations imposed by both. To truly understand the black cube's hidden meaning, we must also explore the role of the shadow. The black cube is often associated with the shadow aspect of the self, those parts of the psyche that are hidden, repressed, or ignored. Saturn, in its harsh wisdom, forces us to confront these shadow aspects, to face the parts of ourselves we would rather not see. But in doing so, we are given the opportunity to integrate these aspects into our being, to heal them, and to become whole. This process of facing the shadow is not easy. It involves confronting fear, guilt, shame, and the darker aspects of human nature. But it is precisely through this confrontation that the soul grows. The black cube, in this sense, becomes a mirror, reflecting back to us the hidden parts of our psyche and our soul. It is through this reflection that we can begin the process of transformation. So, what is the true meaning of the black cube? It is a symbol of the paradox of existence, the confinement of the material world and the liberation of the spiritual world. It is a reminder that within every limitation lies the potential for transcendence, and within every trial lies the opportunity for spiritual growth. It is a force that shapes our reality, but also one that can be transcended through wisdom, understanding, and inner alchemy. Having explored the deeper mysteries of the black cube, it is time to move from the abstract to the practical. How can this ancient knowledge, these timeless symbols, be applied to your own life and spiritual journey? The next section will provide you with concrete steps, practices, and insights that can help you harness the power of the black cube for personal transformation. Now that we've peeled back the layers of the black cube, revealing its paradoxes, its mysteries, and its hidden wisdom, it's time to explore how this ancient symbol can be applied to our modern lives. The Black Cube of Saturn, while an esoteric symbol, is not just something to be admired from a distance. It's a tool for spiritual awakening, a key to understanding the limitations of the material world, and ultimately, a guide for personal transformation. The first and most crucial lesson from the Black Cube is the acceptance of limitation. This might seem counterintuitive, especially in a world obsessed with freedom and self-expression. But the Black Cube teaches us that true liberation begins not by denying our boundaries, but by embracing them. Only when we accept the constraints of time, space, and the material world can we begin to transcend them. Start by acknowledging the limitations in your own life. These might be physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. Perhaps you feel trapped by a cycle of negative thinking or a lack of purpose. Maybe you're struggling with external factors, finances, relationships, or your career, that feel beyond your control. Whatever the limitations are, the first step is acceptance. Look at them squarely, without fear or denial. This acceptance doesn't mean surrendering to them, rather, it means understanding that they are part of your journey. A powerful exercise to help embrace and understand your limitations is the practice of shadow integration. The black cube is deeply connected to the shadow self, those parts of your psyche that you may avoid, repress, or fail to acknowledge. To begin, take some quiet time each day to sit in contemplation. Reflect on your fears, anxieties, and the parts of yourself you feel uncomfortable with. You might write these down in a journal, or visualize them as dark shapes within a cube, symbolizing the boundaries they create in your life. Ask yourself, what lessons are these limitations trying to teach me? What strength can I gain by facing them? As you do this, be compassionate with yourself. The process of shadow integration is about accepting all parts of yourself, both the light and the dark. Over time, this will free you from the restrictions these shadows impose, allowing you to step into a greater state of inner balance and strength. Saturn's influence, embodied in the black cube, is one of discipline, responsibility, and hard work. In a world that craves instant gratification, Saturn's lessons are a reminder that true spiritual growth, like any meaningful accomplishment, takes time and patience. The black cube is not a shortcut, it is a path of mastery, one that requires dedication and perseverance. To harness the power of the black cube, focus on areas of your life that require more discipline. Perhaps you've been procrastinating on a spiritual practice or personal project. The black cube asks you to commit, to build structure, and to work steadily toward your goals. This is not about forcing yourself into rigid routines, but rather creating an environment where your spiritual and personal growth can flourish within boundaries that nurture it. One of the most effective ways to tap into Saturn's energy is by creating a daily routine that aligns with your spiritual and personal aspirations. Start small, but commit to a ritual that grounds you. This could include a morning meditation, journaling, prayer, or reading from sacred texts. By practicing regularly, you build the structure that Saturn, and the Black Cube, calls for. If you struggle with consistency, begin by setting realistic goals. For example, if you aim to meditate, start with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increase the time. Saturn teaches us that even small, consistent actions will lead to long-term transformation. Another profound lesson of the Black Cube is the recognition of the illusion of time. In spiritual teachings, time is often seen as a construct, something that binds us to the material world. Saturn's domain is time, and the Black Cube reflects the cyclic nature of existence, birth, death, and rebirth. But just as the cube can feel like a trap, it also provides the opportunity for transcendence. It is in the acceptance of time's passage that we can gain mastery over it. To apply this wisdom, start by looking at your relationship with time. Do you fear aging? Do you find yourself constantly chasing the future, or perhaps stuck in the past? The Black Cube teaches us that true freedom comes not by escaping time, but by learning to live fully within it. Acknowledge the passage of time and allow it to guide you toward deeper wisdom. The key to overcoming the illusion of time is to cultivate mindfulness. Take moments throughout your day to pause and center yourself. This could be as simple as focusing on your breath for a minute, being fully present in your actions, or savoring a meal with awareness. By bringing yourself into the present moment, you release the grip of past regrets and future anxieties. In doing so, you align with the timeless essence of the Black Cube, recognizing that, even within time's constraints, there is a space for transcendence. When we live fully in the now, we free ourselves from the prison of time. Finally, to deepen your connection to the Black Cube and Saturn's transformative power, consider working with the symbol itself in a ritualistic way. Rituals are powerful tools for unlocking the hidden energies of the universe. By engaging with the Black Cube in a sacred context, you invite its wisdom into your life and call upon its energy for transformation. One simple ritual you can begin with is the Black Cube meditation. Sit in a quiet, undisturbed place and visualize a black cube before you. Picture it floating in the air, its edges sharp and clear, symbolizing the structure of the material world. As you focus on the cube, ask yourself, what limitations am I currently facing? How can I transcend them? What strength can I draw from Saturn's energy? As you meditate, allow the cube to shift in your mind's eye. Perhaps it begins to dissolve, break apart, or transform into something new. This is symbolic of your ability to break free from the constraints of the material world and unlock your highest potential. Incorporating the Black Cube into your meditation or daily ritual can serve as a reminder to stay grounded while also transcending the boundaries of your current reality. Over time, this practice can help you break through limitations, both internal and external, and move toward your highest spiritual expression. The Black Cube of Saturn, when understood and worked with consciously, is not just a symbol of limitation, it is a powerful tool for transformation. By embracing the cube's lessons, you begin to unlock the deeper mysteries of the universe and, most importantly, the mysteries within yourself. Saturn's discipline, time's cycles, and the paradox of constraint and liberation all lead to one fundamental truth: true freedom comes not from escaping the material world, but from mastering it. As we conclude this journey into the heart of the Black Cube, you may find yourself standing at the edge of something much larger than you first imagined. The cube, with all its power, paradox, and mystery, is a symbol not just of limitation, but of transcendence, a reminder that what binds us can also be the very force that frees us. The Black Cube of Saturn is not simply an object to be feared or misunderstood, but an invitation to face the hard truths of our existence and to rise above them, wiser and more whole. The Black Cube teaches us that limitations are not to be avoided, they are to be understood. It is through these boundaries that we begin to find the spaces where true freedom resides. Each wall of the cube is an invitation to grow. Each shadow it casts is a call to face the hidden corners of our souls, to confront the parts of ourselves that we often choose to ignore. And yet, in this very confrontation, we find the alchemy that transforms lead into gold, base desires into divine purpose. But here lies the ultimate mystery: will you choose to remain within the cube, bound by the laws of the material world? Or will you, with courage and wisdom, break through its walls and ascend to a higher level of consciousness? The choice, as always, is yours. Perhaps the Black Cube is not just a symbol of cosmic law, but a mirror reflecting the journey of the soul. In it, we see ourselves, both confined and free, bound and liberated, trapped and transcendent. It is only by facing this mirror and understanding its reflection that we can truly begin to unlock the wisdom hidden within. As you walk forward, consider this question: what limitations are you ready to transcend? What walls are you ready to break down? The Black Cube is waiting for you to unlock its secrets, to use its power not to limit you, but to elevate you. And as you embark on your own path of transformation, remember that every cube, every boundary, every challenge is ultimately a doorway. It is a step into greater wisdom, deeper understanding, and more profound freedom. So I leave you with this final question: what lies beyond the cube for you? What will you discover once you release the chains and step into the infinite space that awaits on the other side? The answers lie within.